What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today I wanted to hop into a subject that I covered in one of my very first videos, and that is the best starter teams. I wanted to revisit that because I think that with some changes that have gone into the game, that advice is kind of outdated, and I wanted to go back and look at the best routes to be successful as you're going through the leveling process, and then when you hit level 85 and start building out those quality first teams that will be helpful for you in different game modes and that kind of thing. And then also for you veteran players watching, I wanted to get some feedback from you guys on if you had to do it all over again, what is the best route to be successful early in this game, best teams to invest in, that sort of thing. So we will hop over, and I've got two different routes to kind of look at and see which one we think is best. But first, if this is your first time to the channel or have been watching for a while, please consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy the content. We'd love to have you as part of the channel going forward. All right, let's hop over. So this is the route that I have been recommending when people ask me for a while now. I thought that the Separatist route had kind of really put itself out there by far as being a really solid, probably best route to go. And we'll kind of walk through this, but I think with the changes that's come in, that there's a better route to go for now. And a lot of that has to do with the man himself, with the new Vader rework on how good that team is. So as a beginner team to invest in, Separatist wise, I think you're going to go after Count Dooku lead. You can also kind of use Newt lead as well, but both of those characters, Count Dooku is very easy to farm early on in the game. Newt is one that you can get when you start doing arena stuff. He's one of the first arena investments that you can go after. And then also for a good tank, you can use Magma Guard. And then also, I always recommend going after Geonosians and start working on them. And these are probably the two Geonosians that you can get the fastest early on, with Poggle and with Geo Soldier. And then I recommended, as you go through that process, kind of separate off and do two Separatist squads. You can kind of take these three and add some other Separatists in. But the main goal towards the end of leveling was to get Brood Alpha and then build up the Geonosians, so you have a really solid arena squad that's hard to get past early on for players. And then also they're really good in GAC, but they lead over to getting Padme unlocked, which is, I think, one of the best teams in the game, probably top 5-6 teams. One of the best things about Padme is she can just counter so many meta teams out there. I use her for gas counters and Darth Revan counters primarily when I'm using her, but she is just a solid early investment in the game. So, probably your early Padme team is going to be Padme. You obviously need to get Ahsoka and Jedi Knight Anakin as soon as possible for her. And then I threw 5s in here just because he's kind of easy to get and he's a decent tank. And then you can kind of play around with the 5th. I would recommend at this point investing in Jedi, because you need 5 Jedi to unlock Grandmaster Yoda. And then he's going to be really vital later on. So getting these 2 Jedi up, and then maybe you've got Mace Windu that's going to be a part of your of what you get when you're leveling up your ships. Qui-Gon Jinn's an easy one to get. So there's a lot of different Jedi that you can kind of plug in for a 5th slot here. But that's what I would recommend investment wise. And it may be better to go 2 Jedi here and do like Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn instead of using 5s here. That way you can kind of build into getting Grandmaster Yoda. And then you're going to take Padme, and this is what a really solid Padme looks like. Eventually you will get Kenobi and add him into this lineup. And then the 5th slot for this one has a lot of flexibility. I use Grandmaster Yoda right now because he's the only option that I have that's at Relic. I kind of pull him away when I'm doing, for my JKR team, when I'm doing battles. But you can throw in, obviously when you're wanting to max out this team, maybe like a C-3PO, R2-D2. There's a lot of different options that you can throw in here. Barriss does really good. Zeta Barriss goes well with this team. So there's a lot of different options that you can do with the 5th. But this is a solid arena team that will do really well for you and will do very well in GAC. So it's kind of got a pretty linear route to go here. And then after that, I was recommending start building out your Jedi, and that's one of the parts that I recommend. Getting Jedi up here, because you need 7 Jedi, 7-star Jedi to unlock Grandmaster Yoda at 7 stars. I think you can unlock him at 5 stars with 5-star Jedi. So you can obviously get him before that, but you're going to want to have him at 7 stars because characters in this game that are below 7 stars really don't fare that well unless they're support characters. So start building out the rest of your Jedi here. So like looking at this, I would say, you want Bastila Shan Fallen, you're going to want Jolie, you have to have them to unlock Jedi Knight Revan. And then, Ezra is a very good one. Old Ben's good. You can also, I would probably recommend maybe instead of Old Ben here, going after Kanan. That way you can start working on the Phoenix Squadron that you could go to later on. But this is a good, decent Jedi team starting off with Bastila, and then obviously you're going to work up to unlocking Jedi Knight Revan. And the reason that I recommend going after Jedi Knight Revan after Padme with this route is because he is so good when it comes to raids, and raids for me has been one of the reasons that I have progressed so fast in this game. I think is because I do very well in raids. Like I can solo the tank raid, and then I can be top 10 in my guild in the Sith raid every time, and a lot of that comes from this Jedi Knight Revan team. So it's an extremely important early game investment to build off of because he's so good in all kinds of different game modes. And then from here, there's just a lot of different ways that you could go. Journey guide characters, you could go after Empire, then you could go after Thrawn. Obviously you could go after Kylo Ren and start going after that Galactic Legend. So this is what I thought was just a good investment to get 3 really solid teams in Bugs, Padme lineup, and then JKR was kind of what I was recommending. And then from there, people kind of had a lot of flexibility to go out in different routes. But my goal here as a free-to-play player is to give solid counters when you're looking at GAC and then Arena, so you can get those crystals every day. But then also having a team like a JKR that is really good in raids, that's going to have you getting quality gear and currency every time that the raids come around. All right, so this is the route that I actually went because at the time the Separatist route kind of wasn't very popular or wasn't really pushed. I think when Arnold started pushing that, a lot of people started looking into the Separatist route for a better leveling route. So I went the Phoenix route to begin with. This team is pretty easy to farm early on, and then probably around level 65 you can start changing that team over to this Empire Squadron. And this is kind of a basic starter Empire Squadron. So with Phoenix routes, you're able to unlock Emperor Palpatine, and then you're also able to unlock Grand Admiral Thrawn. As part of the leveling process, you'll start getting a decent amount of Vader shards. So you obviously have Vader with Palpatine, and then Grand Moff Tarkin is part of the ship's leveling process, as is TIE Fighter pilot. So this makes a good starter Empire Squadron, and then you're going to start taking moving away from the Phoenix Squadron and investing into this squad early on. And then what I recommend, because the rework on Vader is so good, this team is going to be solid, I think, for a long time in this game because of how good Vader's rework is, that you start investing in this team big time as a solid Arena Squadron and GAC Squadron. And this is kind of what I recommend, is going after Bastila Shan Fallen. She is going to be so beneficial to this team. And then the 5th you can kind of play around with quite a bit. For early on, I was thinking maybe doing if you wanted to throw in an extra shock, go after Count Dooku, I think would be a solid 5th here. And then he has all that counter stuff. Really, a Relic Dooku is a beast in GAC. So he's a good option. You could go after Shore Trooper to have a really good tank added into the squadron and do more of an Empire vibe to it. There's just a lot of different routes here. My 5th, eventually, just because of where I'm at in the game, is going to be Darth Revan, because I've kind of come back and revisited to this team because of how good the Vader rework is, and it's a major investment for me right now. And then since I'm about to get Darth Revan probably in the next month or so, and it's going to take so much to invest into his team specifically, I'm going to add him to this team for a while until I can build out his team with gearing all those characters up and everything. But like, I think that the Empire Sith combo is going to be a solid investment to go ahead and start pushing towards relics early in this game, and then you'll have a solid team that I think will do good in Arena and GAC for a while. And then from that, kind of hop back over to the Jedi route that we kind of covered in the other one. You'll have Kanan and Ezra. You're obviously going to farm Bastila Shan and Jolie. Then that should give you Yoda. So you've got a really solid beginner Bastila Shan led Jedi team, and then work that over to the JKR lineup. And then from there, like I said, a lot of options. If you wanted to go Geos, Padme, you could go that route. You could start working towards a Galactic Legend, whatever you wanted to go from there. But this gives you a solid 2 teams here, where I would recommend maybe going after I went after Padme because I think she's such a good free-to-play counter to a lot of the meta teams out there. But with the ability of what this team can do, like, I've seen this team wear out Padme squads. I've seen it beat gas squads. It's going to be a really solid team, this Empire Sith lineup. So you may want to go after a Galactic Legend at that point and start building out First Order, going after Kylo, or like I said, Geos, Padme. You can't go wrong there either. So would like to hear some feedback from you guys. But I think this is the premier route to go now. I didn't mention ships as well. So like in the first one, obviously you would build out a Geo ships team. You can do really well with that. But with the addition of the new bomber for the Empire, I think, especially when it becomes free-to-play farmable, you can have Vader ship. Obviously, you would have a Tarkin's capital ship, and then TIE fighter pilot, have that bomber come in, and then start adding some other ships in there as well. You can do really well early on into Ships Arena, I think, just based off of this Empire Squadron, and not having to worry necessarily about the bugs. But you can obviously, like I said, go after them in Padme after you get JKR going. So, but let me know what you guys think. I think that's a really solid route to go for free-to-play players. As a free-to-play player myself, like, my investment has primarily just been the Hyperdrive bundle. I think I've got maybe $30 into the game after that in buying those relic material bundles. But I'm always behind the meta, so I'm trying to figure out free-to-play counters that are going to work well within doing well in Arena and GAC. So I think with the Vader rework, obviously going after JKR, those are some really solid routes to go. But that is it for this video. I will see you guys in the next one, and please give some feedback down below. I want to see what, especially veteran players, think are the best route to go going forward. All right, guys, have a great weekend. I will see you guys in the next video.